The sudden collapse of Silicon Valley Bank has been met with an emergency response by US authorities to try and head off contagion after the largest bank failure since 2008. In a move to shore up confidence in the banking system, the Biden administration stepped in on Sunday to protect deposits in a failed bank. Regulators said customers will have full access to deposits starting Monday, which include billions of dollars in uninsured money, and set up a new facility to give banks access to emergency funds. Silicon Valley Bank was a key lender in the startup economy, a product of the decades-long era of cheap money, with unique risks that made it especially vulnerable. The bank's collapse on Friday sparked panic at the weekend over whether small business clients would be able to pay their staff, with the FDIC only protecting deposits of up to $250,000. On Sunday, regulators closed another bank under pressure, New York's Signature Bank. Jared Comizio, a professor at American University, said both events would spark political fallout.
The idea that you've had two bank failures, including one that is the second largest bank failure in history, there's going to be some blowback from this, and I fully expect that there'll be congressional hearings on these failures, both of them.
The U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation said in a statement that all depositors will be made whole in both Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank at no loss to the taxpayer. And a Sunday statement from President Joe Biden said, quote, "I am firmly committed to holding those responsible for this mess fully accountable." He is set to address the intervention and the threat of a broader crisis in remarks on Monday.
We were faced with a situation where we could have seen some of our most important companies, our most strategic companies, wiped out, and that would have been extremely dangerous. We have built, over the last decade, the third largest tech economy in the world, after only China and the United States. So it's very important to us as a country that this sector thrives. And that's why the Prime Minister, the Bank of England, were all rolling our sleeves up over the weekend to make sure we had a solution. But we were looking at all options, and we needed to be sure that if the sale didn't happen, we had other solutions ready. That's why it was important to do a huge amount of work on a variety of solutions over the weekend. The UK banking system is extremely secure, it's well capitalised, and I think we demonstrated that resilience by what was happening over the weekend and the fact that we were able to come up with a solution so quickly.
I said we'll have something to say very shortly, but we will continue to support our world-beating technology sector and all the high-skilled jobs that it supports, and also people should be reassured that our overall financial system is sound and there's nothing to worry about there. But as I said, we'll have something to say very shortly. We've been working on it intensively over the weekend. Richard Sharp was appointed by government before my time, before I was Prime Minister, through a rigorous process. Now that process is being reviewed again by an independent, someone who's been appointed independently. It's right that that process finishes its course. It wouldn't be right for me to speculate before then.
But can you endorse his character?
Yes, I mean, I've known him obviously for a long time, but with regard to his appointment, it's right that that's done independently and rigorously. That process happened before I was Prime Minister, had nothing to do with me, and at the time was conducted with all the way that it should have been. Now, that process is being reviewed, but the Independent Appointments Commissioner has appointed a leading barrister, I believe, to review that process. Right that we let that continue.
now.